Oh hey, what's up, new Land Cruiser? You're looking pretty nice. Look, I get it. You were mad at us who live in the United States because we didn't buy you as much as we did your fancied up Lexus sibling. We didn't appreciate your legacy and heritage as much as we should have. But I just want to say thank you. Thank you for a solid 60 years, and I hope the Middle East continues to love you the way they always did. My name is Omar, and this is not the new Land Cruiser. This is the 2022 Lexus LX.
What can I do for you?
I didn't ask you anything, and you sound very boring and very robotic. I wouldn't want to hang out with you in real life. So yeah, the Land Cruiser has left the building, at least here in the United States, and I think there's more to the story than just low sales figures. First of all, I think people felt uncomfortable dropping close to over $90,000 on a Toyota versus a Lexus, and rightfully so. And of course, I think Toyota wanted to make some more room to let the new Sequoia shine a little bit brighter. The new Land Cruiser, the new Tundra, the new Sequoia, and the new Lexus LX all sit on the same body-on-frame GAF platform. Not to mention they have all dropped their V8 engines like a bad habit and share a new 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6. Now I know, some of you out there are really upset that the V8 is gone, but this twin-turbo V6 is plenty powerful. It makes a total of 409 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. That's an extra 26 more horses than the outgoing LX with an extra 76 pound-feet of torque. And the new LX is also lighter and it's quicker. With less weight to push around, the new Lexus LX does 0 to 60 in 6.9 seconds as compared to 7.3 on the outgoing one, which is pretty impressive considering this thing has a curb weight of over 5,600 pounds. So how is this as a daily driver? I actually just tested the 2021 LX a few months ago, so I'm pretty fresh on how that felt. And I have to say, this is a huge improvement. Again, this just feels lighter, more comfortable, and more nimble. The new LX weighs 500 pounds less than the outgoing one, which was pushing well over 6,000 pounds, and it just made it feel heavy, sluggish, and made that V8 work really, really hard. But yeah, just like most Lexus models, the LX is one of the smoothest riding options in this segment. This thing goes head to head with the likes of the Cadillac Escalade, the Lincoln Navigator, the BMW X7, and the Mercedes-Benz GLS. You also have the new Jeep Grand Wagoneer, and I have to say, the Lexus does everyday comfort ride quality just a little bit better. The other thing that this does better than a lot of the competition is off-roading. Since this is the Land Cruiser's fancier sibling, it's got some pretty solid off-roading chops. Now, it's not a Wrangler or a Bronco, but it is much better than its rivals when it comes to off-roading. But of course, a lot of people buying this or any other large luxury SUV will probably never touch dirt, ever. But yeah, the acceleration just feels more seamless and quicker because you have a lot of low-end torque, and that new 10-speed automatic transmission just helps this shift smoother than ever. I personally remember the V8 really struggling, but in this, no matter what speed you're traveling at, especially if you're in Sport S or Sport S Plus mode, and you hit the gas, and this thing takes off. It really moves. Also, I did notice that this cabin is much quieter than the outgoing one. I'm sure Lexus did improve the sound deadening here, but what's even more impressive is that even at highway speeds, this interior is pretty quiet, and that's due to the fact that that 10th gear keeps the engine speed pretty low, which results in a quieter ride, and it also gives it better fuel economy. How much better? Well, it's always fun to talk about fuel economy in this segment because it's usually laughable, but the new Lexus LX averages a total of 17 city and 22 highway miles per gallon. The outgoing LX, I think, did 12 city and 16 highway, so good job, Lexus. I'm currently averaging a total of 16.4 miles a gallon. Not bad. Now, besides just improving on the outgoing LX, Lexus had to make sure that the new LX received a solid enough upgrade everywhere in order to take on the competition, and most of that is seen on the inside. The old model was getting pretty outdated and looked pretty tired, so the new LX gets a brand new interior that it desperately needed. Quality-wise, it is everything that you would expect from Lexus. Everything feels really solid and is really, really well put together. You've got real leather, open pore wood trim, aluminum trim, real stitching, and all that you would expect from a vehicle in this price range. And now you can get the LX in a 5-passenger configuration with 2 rows, a 7-passenger configuration with 3 rows, or you can just get 4 seats in the ultra luxury. Overall, it's a very comfortable and very nice place to be. But let's get to the fun stuff. What's cool and interesting when it comes to the tech, the interior space, and convenience? Let's take a look. When it comes to tech, you no longer have that annoying touchpad to deal with because all LX models now come standard with a 12.3-inch touchscreen display that houses their new infotainment system. It's the same system that you saw on the new Toyota Tundra and the Lexus NX. The system is quick, smooth, and overall the performance is really top-notch. You have wired or wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard, although navigation is part of a subscription service called Drive Connect, which is the same on the Lexus NX and the Toyota Tundra. Now, one thing that I really don't like about this system is that you don't have a home screen. The display will stay on whatever screen that you select and won't let you have a split view where you can view like 3 items. Also, here's something interesting to know. This display here is actually much smaller than the one you get on the NX, the upgraded display, which is a smaller vehicle. The NX can be had with the giant 14-inch touchscreen display. The LX cannot. Which brings me to this 7-inch vehicle info display right here. It's got a lot of info, especially for when you're off-roading. You can hit this multi-terrain select button right here and go through the various off-road drive modes, or you can just hit this drive modes button right here and go through your various drive modes, including Eco, Comfort, Normal, Sport S Plus, and Custom. This screen here also has some other settings, including your climate control functions. Don't worry, you still have some physical controls right down here, and you can also change the ambient lighting right from here. Now, you do have a digital gauge cluster display, sort of, but it's nothing fancy. It's pretty standard with a bunch of useful information, but it doesn't look so 2022. You don't have a full screen map view or anything of that sort. And if you like some more screens in your vehicle, you can throw on the rear entertainment package, which gives you 2 11.4-inch touchscreen displays in the back of the headrest. Keep in mind, you can only get this package on the luxury trim, but it is standard on the ultra luxury. Now, since this is a large luxury SUV that most people will buy for their fairly large families rather than taking it off-road or doing any land cruising in it, let's talk about the interior space and comfort. All right, hop into the second row of the new LX, and you're working with about 36.6 inches of legroom, which is about 2 inches more than the outgoing model. I'm about 6 foot tall. That's my seating position. As you can see, good amount of room, not bad at all. And if you go for the luxury or the ultra luxury, you get second row manual shades or peasant blockers. I don't know why those aren't automatic. They should be automatic, but they are manual. Check this out. Getting in the third row is pretty interesting. In most SUVs, if your front row seats are too far back, you have to move them forward by yourself before folding the second row. Not here. All you do is hold down this button right here and the front seats will automatically move forward if they are too far back. Once it's out of the way, this second row will fold down and lift up, giving you access to the third row. That is really cool and very well thought out. Just a note here, this auto-arranging seat folding action is only available on the luxury trim of the LX, not on any other trims. All right, so you know I have to climb back into the third row and show you guys what we're working with, and it's challenging for somebody my height. But once you get back here, you have 31.1 inches of legroom, which is 3 inches more than the outgoing LX, and it's a good amount of room, but it's not a very comfortable position to sit in. It's like you're squatting. So I still wouldn't put anyone back here that you really care about. You also get some cup holders, some USB-C ports, and you can adjust the recline automatically, so that's pretty nice. So you just hit this button and you can move the third row forward and back just a few inches. Now, before we check out the cargo space, you'll notice that the split gate is gone, and Lexus says that actually helped cut some weight off the new LX. Once you pop open the tailgate on the LX, you're working with 11 cubic feet behind the third row, which seems more like 3 cubic feet. And then with the third row folded, you have 44 cubic feet behind the second row. And with the second and third row folded, you're looking at 64 cubic feet. Compared to the outgoing LX, you do get 2 more cubic feet behind the third row since they now fold flat into the floor, unlike the outgoing LX where they actually folded to the side and took up some space. But max cargo capacity with all the rows down has shrunk pretty significantly. And for your convenience and luxury, you can fold the second and third row right from back here using these buttons. Keep in mind, if you go for the ultra luxury trim, with the fixed second row captain chairs, you'll have less cargo space and less configurability. Speaking of the ultra luxury, let's talk about it really quick. I'm actually testing the luxury trim here, but the ultra luxury trim again gives you 2 fixed second row captain chairs and a really luxurious experience. You can recline the seat all the way back and rest your legs on a footrest. It's basically the LS rear seat comfort in the LX. Now here's the funny thing, the only trim where you can get massaging seats in the new LX is the ultra luxury trim, and only in the rear seats. You don't have front massaging seats at all on any LX trim, which is a pretty bad decision, but at the same time, none of these massaging seats these days will cure any back pains anyway. Oh, and here's something else that's weird. If you go for the ultra luxury trim, you don't get a wireless charger in the front. That gets deleted and it gets moved to the back because, you know, your driver or your chauffeur doesn't deserve amenities like a wireless charger. So yeah, it's got a pretty solid interior, but what about the outside? It took Lexus quite a long time to update the LX, we all know that, and I really like the direction that they went here. It looks more aggressive, more luxurious, and it just has a very strong presence on the road. Lexus calls their new design language athletic performance, which honestly I feel like every brand under the sun uses those words to describe their designs these days. This is the era of athletic performance. This design language started with the new NX, and you see some similarities in the back with the design of the blade rear taillights and the giant Lexus lettering, because the L badge just wasn't cutting it. And yeah, let's state the obvious. It's got one of the biggest grills on any car ever. So if you aren't a fan of giant grills, you probably won't like this very much. This thing has the biggest mouth that I've ever seen. It'll make you forget all about what BMW is doing with their grills. Personally, I kind of like it. The LX grill, not the BMW grills, don't get me wrong there. Just one quick interesting note here, the new LX stretches a total of 200 inches in length. That makes it half an inch longer than the outgoing one, but a foot shorter than the competition like the Escalade and the Navigator. Okay, so let's talk pricing, because this is where the LX and a few other models in this segment continue to struggle. The BMW X7, the Cadillac Escalade, the Lincoln Navigator, the Mercedes GLS all start between $75,000 to $78,000. The LX, well, this goes the route of the Grand Wagoneer and costs around $10,000 more. Let's break it down really quick. Pricing starts at $88,245 for the base LX and goes all the way up to $127,345 for the ultra luxury. And just something to point out here, the ultra luxury price tag is just a few grand less than the AMG GLS 63. Now, instead of getting into a complete breakdown of the trim levels, let's just take a look at what you get as standard, because it is pretty well optioned out. Well, besides the base LX model, which not a lot of LX shoppers will go for anyway. But yeah, as standard, every Lexus LX gets the signature triple beam Lyrical Dream headlamps with headlamp washers. It also gets the Blade LED tail lamp, which looks very nice. I really like this look on newer Lexus models. You get to pick between 20 or 22-inch wheels. On the inside, you get leather or semi-aniline leather seats. Heated front seats are standard, and ventilated front seats only come into play at the premium trim and above. Heated second row seats are standard on the premium or higher trims. Ventilated second row seats can be had as a part of a package on the premium trim and are standard on the F Sport trim and the two luxury trims. A heated steering wheel is standard on all trims except the base LX, and then the power folding third row seats are standard on the premium trims and above. A power tilt and telescopic steering wheel is standard on all trims, like it should be. Now, what isn't available on any Lexus LX trim is a panoramic sunroof. You just have this standard sunroof, which is a bit disappointing and a missed opportunity to shine some light into this otherwise beautiful interior. Tech-wise, again, all LX trims come standard with a 12.3-inch touchscreen display with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Then you have a 7-inch screen right here, also standard, as well as a not so interesting digital instrument display. You have a 10-speaker sound system as standard, but you can upgrade that to the Mark Levinson sound system on the Premium and the F Sport. It is standard on the two luxury trims. A wireless charger is standard on the front on all trims except the Ultra Luxury, because it's in the back. You also get a heads-up display on the Premium trims and above, and speaking of safety features like the heads-up display, all LX trims come standard with basically everything as a part of Lexus Safety System Plus 2.5, including adaptive cruise control and lane departure alert, along with lane tracing assist. You get a pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, a blind spot monitoring system, road sign recognition, automatic high beams, rear cross traffic alert, a weird and not really useful panoramic view monitor. I don't know why Lexus does this still, but the standard bird's eye view and rear view camera are actually pretty solid. So yeah, if you want a fairly loaded and solid amount of features that can be had with the Lexus LX, I recommend starting at least at the premium trim and working your way up from there if you need to. All right, before I give you my final opinion on the new Lexus LX, let me point out a few random important things that I'll have to show all of you. You have about 8 cup holders, 2 in the front for the front passengers, 2 in the back in the center armrest for the rear passengers, second row passengers, and then third row passengers for some reason always get the most cup holders ever. They have 2 on the right side and 2 on the left side. Here are what the keys look like to the new LX600, the new Lexus key, nothing that exciting about it. Door open and close sound from the outside and from the inside. Solid. It makes me really happy to see USB-C ports in a Lexus because it's been a long time coming. So you do have a USB-C port in the front and a USB-A port, and then all Lexus LX trims come standard with the wireless charger, which is pretty awesome. My people chilling in the second row have to push right here to reveal their charging game, and they have 2 USB-C ports and a cigarette lighter charger, which I didn't point out in the front, but you have one back here as well. And while those sitting in the third row will have a hard time sitting in their squatting position, they do get a USB-C port on each side. Good for them. It is now time for an indicator and horn sound test here with the 2022 Lexus LX. Indicator first. Same old Lexus indicator, now for the horn sound, and everybody in the park is gonna be like, oh, what is he doing? Why is he honking the horn? But I'm gonna do it anyway. Oh yeah, that is solid. So yes, the new LX is much better than the outgoing one, but this is still one of the most expensive options in this segment. I get that it's more capable, a better off-roader than a lot of the competition, but for a majority of the shoppers in this segment that don't care about off-roading or capability, that $88,000 is a hard pill to swallow. You see, like I said at the beginning of this video, shoppers had a very hard time justifying $90,000 plus for a giant land cruising Toyota. And I also think that they would have a hard time justifying a similar price tag over the German and the American competitors, unless of course you live in the Middle East, then Toyota and Lexus reign supreme. And also, let's not forget that all of the other options in this segment are missing that one thing that makes this the best possible purchase that you can make. Reliability. No matter what, for any reason, ever, no matter when, no matter who you're with, or where you're going, or where you've been, ever, for any reason whatsoever, no matter what, the Lexus LX, just like the Land Cruiser, will stand the test of time and will last you over 200 or even 300,000 miles. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. My handle is @OmarDrives. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care. Peace. It's a blurry piece because cinematic mode. Being stuck in traffic while I'm filming a car review. What a crazy life I live. Come on.